Thank you, Mike Gwost, for agreeing to be recorded for our Gwimas Island Historical Society archives. My name's Dawn Ashback, and I'm here with Mike Gwost on Gwimas. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Can you tell me your full name, your birth date, and your place of birth?
Michael Joseph Gwost, born in January 28th, 1954 in Little Falls, Minnesota.
And who were your parents?
George Gregory Gwost and Evangeline Regina Merklowitz.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, how in the heck did you end up coming to Gwimas?
I came on a train the first time.
You,
No.
you came on a train. Well, what year did you come to
Oh
Gwimas?
no, I was.
What year?
I was just kidding.
I know you were. What year did you come?
In 1977.
Okay.
This what was it? It was. I was engaged in my senior year in Morehead State University in Morehead, Minnesota, in the art department, the sculpture department.
Oh.
And you would get a full quarter's credit for interning with someone in your field. So, in studying art, I still believe I could be one of the. I'm really good at sculpture, like. Real, anyhow, I wanted to work with Henry Moore because I studied him in school, and I wanted to go work with him. But being in rural Minnesota, central Minnesota, like going to England was like going to the moon, you know. Forget it. Mm-hmm. So, but my good friend David Thompson from Devil's Lake, North Dakota, had interned with him, but with Phil for, I don't know, the whole credit, anyway, there was a connection. So one day I was sitting at home, I called him up, and
You called up Phil McCracken?
yeah,
Okay.
and introduced myself, and then and he said, so I sent him a letter and resume, and then he said, just come on out. So I raised the money by building a circular stairway and a health food store in Fargo. I was stacked 8 by 16 for that, and anyway, so I got out here, and I came here on with a friend, dropped me off on Sunday night, and I saw the island across from there, and here comes this little boat, and I thought, oh hell, it's right over there, you know, being from Minnesota, the only islands were about, you know, half a mile long, maybe, in the Mississippi River. So when we got on, I said, we landed there, and Phil picked me up in his little car, but I had my conga drum, my slide guitar, my dobro, a packet of tools, of heavy tools, and my clothing. And but we had fitted all in that little Opel GT for some reason. So Phil's a big guy, and we got all this stuff in the car, and we're going across here to North Beach, and I'm looking, wow, you know, these are really big trees, you know, because I thought that we kept going and going to the studio, to Ann, and the next morning we had breakfast, and then I went in the studio, and once I got my tools laid out and stuff in the little adjoining workroom, he hands me a maquette, about yay by so,
What is it?
a maquette, which is a model of, it was made out of wire and oil, plasticine oil sculpture clay, and it was the leaves. And pretty much all he said was, enlarge it to whatever size I thought was appropriate and figure out how to make it. Okay.
Okay.
So I started with this, you know, got sticks and cardboard, you know, and kept going and kept going till we made the armature and built it, you know, built the whole thing out of, like Henry Moore would do, or any sculptor built it. And since I was studying dance at the same time, because it was one step beyond hockey and football, because it included art, you know, like, well, my other idol is Isamu Noguchi, who actually did that, incorporated, you know. But onward, so we figured it out. Then we had coffee at 10 precisely, and I'm looking out the window and I asked him, where'd all the water go?
Oh.
The first low tide I ever saw. It's way out there. And so, yeah, we're gonna go dig clams. Oh yeah, well, you know, Mississippi River mud clams are like, you know, few and far between. So he showed me how to do and showed me what we done. So I dig my first hole and put one out and said, we're gonna eat these things. And so that's history. So I did all the forging and everything, design installation. So 20 years later, they had to move it.
Oh, tell me about why the leaves were commissioned.
Oh yeah. It was commissioned by Sal Warner, a resident who had, you know, purchased the valley, and she was a real supporter of Phil. And her young son, years before that, not too far, the same age as all the Dog Island boys stuff, he fell off the back of a pickup truck at the crossroads and died. So that's a memorial sculpture, and interactive. And well, anyway, but I was studying dance when we were making the things. You know, I talked. He'd ask me, and sometimes I'd pipe up with a, you know, that, or suggesting that, well, let me crawl around on it and see what's going to happen, and you know, that those plates and all that are all specifically designed not to look like, to be a sculpture, but safe to crawl on and interact. And it works exactly the way it was designed.
It's beautiful.
Well, in Washington State, they should be on the register of stuff and move that playground stuff back to where it was. So that's to be attacked.
At another
soon,
date. Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
But so first night on Gwost, who should I? Dan McCracken said, "Hey Mike, you want to go to a party?"
Go ahead. I just want you to show this. Why not? Here. There you go. Because that's just it's too good of a time to do that.
Yeah, this was in the original spot, but when Ma Bell put in the station behind it, it got a little bit, but we insisted on a green barrier. But when they put the playground equipment over here, Phil did not like that. So he said, we're going to move it. Well, everyone's going, oh, what are you doing?
Oh, shoot.
I said, oh,
No, that's okay.
I said,
I got it. I got it.
I just told Phil,
Yeah, I got it.
no worries. It's all set to go because in its base that's covered up with dirt. Below here is a big two pads that connect with a plate, and there's lifting rings that I put there, tarred them, and hit in case it ever had to be moved.
Oh, wow.
So they were really surprised when we just dug away George Wilson's sand and gravel, which was easy to dig, because mostly a lot of sand. And there it was. So I snagged the use of an operator and crane from Dakota Creek. Oh. Yeah, I just wanted to point a few
Oh, I'm
things
sorry.
out.
Oh, well, I gotta put the camera back
Oh,
on.
okay.
I wanted, okay, let me just. Okay, go, all right, I got it.
See, all these are built out of pipe, and this was sprayed into a mold of the original, obviously, and then sprayed fiberglass, but cement with color in it. And we painted that on, and they sprayed whatever. And all these are hand forged and welded for the. Anyway, so that's that. So the crane came over, I hooked onto it, and he picked it up, and it just picked it up there, not even a creek, and then walked across to where it is. So I was walking along the crane, right? It was a big one, big wheels. And he started to go like this, as he was going. And I said, oh geez, that's the old outhouse hole. And I said, just keep going, keep going. He went down, and he fell back off, and it turned over, so, anyway.
Okay, but
That's
why don't you
that.
put that down and then just set it
Okay,
down?
okay.
Yeah, and then I'll get you in the frame again. Thank you, that was more information than I knew about that. Okay, all right, so it was installed, so that was your first project with Phil?
Besides, at the same time, we were doing the Kingdom, he was doing the Kingdom bronzes,
Oh,
5 pieces on the wall, on the outside, and numerous other ones.
okay. So,
Well, as the years went on, sometimes, I don't know, he didn't know where he left off, where he was, where he left off, because I knew his work so well, and anyway, he didn't know. And, oh, geez, I gotta fix that. Oh, okay. You know,
yeah, how long did you work with him?
Oh, geez. What, 30 years off, full time, then you hired, after, we hit it off so well and did so much, I was looking for a summer job in Minnesota, and the phone rings, and Phil said, well, come and work for me. So I hopped on the train again.
Oh, so after the first year, you went back home?
No, the first quarter.
Oh, the first quarter you went back.
The next summer, he said, come on out, let's keep when he hired on me for, basically it was $1.25 an hour and room and board.
Oh,
It was a lot of fun. We did, I believe, it was a very good working relationship. It's a little hard on, giving my ego,
yeah, I heard you.
freely over it, but we did amazing things. I think it helped them a lot. It was sort of like a Batman and Robin.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you also did another sculpture. I mean, I've seen some of your sculptures, and
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
yeah.
lots of different styles that you're able to do.
Yeah, yes.
I'm thinking of the woman with the with the lantern.
Yeah, the Marquette for the radio. See, that was a good one, but that's politics, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know,
Yeah,
but it
but
also shows your depth of being able to be,
figurative sculpture, yeah, was
you know.
quite good in uh, wood carving. I'm really good at relief sculpture.
Mm.
I've done many, like a, a buffalo for the Secretary of the Interior of the United States,
Hmm.
and a series in at St. Paul's Episcopal of the Stations of the Cross. You should check that out sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
It's pretty good.
And where is that church?
Oh, over by the college, on that
Oh, in Mount
where all
Vernon?
those
In Mount,
Lutheran churches are.
okay, in Mount Vernon,
Yeah, on the
west,
east side of it.
east side. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And carving a lot of bowls,
Mm.
wooden bowls of a personal design or technique or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Did you just use hand tools?
Pretty much,
Yeah,
adzes
yeah.
and axes,
Yeah, yeah,
spoke shave,
yeah, yeah.
looked out with a chainsaw.
So your art is a world in itself, but then you kind of expanded into shipbuilding, boat building.
Well, yes, I've always, well, at that time I was on there were a dozen young fellas my age, either building a boat or completely working on a boat or rebuilding a boat or working. It was amazing culture, and I like,
On Gwimas,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
I remember, yeah.
I like to hang out with them, and because I'd never seen that up close, boy oh boy, how did they do that?
Mm-hmm.
But then I knew how to steam and cast cement, lead, and work bronze, so I sort of fell in with all my knowledge and eye. So then first job as shipwright was at Freya Boat Works in Vancouver. And then at that point in time, Tim McCracken came back when I was there, and he had just come back from Kodiak, he was a skiff man. And he had made like $12,000, and wow, Phil was just really beaming,
Mm-hmm.
So when it got to $1.25, got a little bit long in the tooth. I was sitting there at dinner one time after dinner and said, it'd be kind of interesting to go fishing. And so kind of, I'm going to go over next door down the street there and talk to Jerkovich, who was
Mm-hmm.
had a really pretty daughter.
Anne.
But, so he liked what he saw, so he hired me as skiff man. I've never seen much into the net you put, never been to sea, never started a diesel engine, all of the above. But I figured it all out, and I got the boat to Kodiak from Seattle. I've never done this before, but no, kind of a natch, and I was one of the best skiff mans around, because, I don't know, it's like a rodeo.
That's who you are.
But then, here comes along, I meet this gal, Susie, a fiddler, who was actually I've been hanging out with a friend of mine who was building the schooner, But I would just come by in the afternoons because I was cut down to 4 hours a day and I could do whatever I wanted to. I didn't want to do anything with sculpture because if you're that focused on that and inputting all the way he's thinking and the way he's forming and do that exactly, where he never really had to correct anything, he just wanted to go do more, you know, this one. So, what was I?
You'd gone to Alaska
Oh,
and
yeah,
you fished.
so after that, 10 years, and it was the horrible, the oil spill where
It's like 1990, something like that.
89.
89.
It was horrible. It was like being in prison, absolutely tormented.
Oh, you're talking up in Alaska?
Yeah.
The Valdez?
We
Yeah.
sat at the dock the whole season.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got a job at Freya in doing that. And then in '89, I got back. And Freya had kind of dissipated about the amount of work and the way he was focused. The owner was a surveyor now. So it was up to us to bring in the jobs. But at church, I heard about Tony Lovich,
Lover.
and since I was playing musician for the Croatians, since I'm 100% Polish, the Croatians just like Mike, and I joined their orchestra right off the, learned how to play the Bulgaria, which is like a guitar, and I recorded with him, performed at Mini Hall, and whatever. And one day at the church, I said, "Hello, Tony. My name is Mike," and told him what I was doing, whatever. Then he said, "See you Monday." Just like that.
Just like that.
He knew. Anyway.
You had a reputation.
So I was there for 20 years.
Wow. So interesting, you got that job through music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And besides playing dobro with then the Dog Island Boys, that was precursor, if you want, to jump back.
Okay.
It was Jim Reed, the guitar player, and banjo, and I was a trio.
Oh.
And in 1989, we were so good, well, we were, I was going to go home to visit my folks, so I bought a new to me truck, and they went on him and Jim Reed took off in his old station wagon to Montana or somewhere, and by the time they got going, his old station wagon overheated, and then banjo, and Jim went out, we call him Jim Weedley. He opened the hood and opened the cap, and the superheated water hit him in the face.
Ooh.
So he was so banjo took over, got him all doctored up, and kept driving all the way to Montana. This was at this pass, the Cascade Pass.
Mm-hmm. This is from Gwost.
Yeah.
Now, why were you going? Why were they going there?
Their music on tour. So
On
I
a
said
tour.
I'd meet up with them. Oh, they were going to the Walnut Valley Bluegrass Festival in Walnut Valley, Nebraska.
Nebraska?
Yeah. So I said, I'm headed home, but I'll meet you guys there. So they made it there. No, banjo drove all the way, didn't have a license and anything. No. Anyway, so I met up with them and we played, around, went to, played along with some greats.
What was the name of your band?
It was the Dog Island Boy.
Oh, that was Dog Island Boys, okay. And what year, what year?
No, then once we started getting gigs, like in Nebraska, we changed it to Turkey Point Bluegrass Band.
Turkey's Point?
Turkey Point. God, it's gotta be. I have one of those somewhere.
A poster, you mean?
Yeah, Turkey Point Bluegrass Band.
Bluegrass band.
So we played all the way up to Minnesota. And we played in this little town of Randall, north of Little Falls, and they stayed behind after the gig. They found a mobile home to stay in, and then I went home and just kept in sort of touch. Then it was time for me, after a short stay, to turn around and go back to Washington, back to work. So somehow Banjo got a hold of me and said, "Can you pick me up in Fargo?" I said, "Sure." So he gave me where to pick him up, and so it was in the dead of winter, 20 below or whatever, snow it was. So I stopped there, and he comes out with almost with his jacket and that about it. Hops in the truck and said, "Let's go, let's get out of here." He was, somehow had met some unsavory characters, I guess.
I see.
But made friends with them because he was just abandoned, because him and Jim had an off stage conversation, they went. And Jim, Jim took his banjo as a payment for something that banjo had owed him or something, so he stole his beautiful banjo and disappeared. So banjo was on his own. So here we go, back to here. So, and I was good at driving. Usually it's about 32 hours, or kind of straight through, little naps. And we're going, and I couldn't drive anymore, so I let Banjo drive, and I napped, and it was a nice, super trip. And we're in Missoula, and we just had breakfast. And he said, "Oh, we'll just go stop." I said, "No, if we book it, we can catch the midnight." So away we went. So we traveling through 405 on Bellevue, just coming around there. And I'm driving, Banjo's driving, he's got his, handsome hat on. And these two girls come up in this car, right next to us. And they go like, "Hey, hey, hey," and then they point to the next exit.
Oh my.
And Banjo said, "Bike, sit down, come on, we got the next exit, next exit, come on." And I said, "Banjo, we're catching the midnight."
Oh.
So
Who knows?
here we return. So so that band, that was the end of that one.
Well, but did Kit join that one? And Jeff Winston?
He was a jam. They were jamming
They just.
before pre-77. I don't know if they performed anywhere. I don't know. You'd have to ask Dan McCracken or Jeff Winston.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
Okay, so then you came back. Did you go and you went back to work for Lovrig's shipyard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did very difficult but impressive fixes.
On boats, yeah.
Eventually, after this redneck finally retired and got off, he was making life absolutely miserable because Tony was giving me all the tough jobs that I was going to do it. So it's just it's my nature to, you say, fix this bashed up keel on a 100-footer, you know. And so I figure it out, and I just said that, you know, he tell us what to do. And I go along, sort of, and then I can see a way to fix it. And so I walk up the hill, well, I don't know what, 80 steps up the hill in the afternoon, and Tony's sitting there sleeping because he had his wine, she had his afternoon siesta, and I wake him up and I said, oh, baby. And so he comes up and I said, I have my explain what I'm doing. And sometimes I'm clear, but my mind goes so fast, my mouth can't keep up because it goes flash, you know, here's the solution. But he'd say, get a piece of paper, say, I draw you a picture. And so he was he worked for Aristotle Onassis as a young architect in Italy. But he draws this picture of this and that, and the solution, like he had said. But since I saw something that would be like more improved, since I'm an art student, I draw a picture of my solution. So Tony would look at his, look at mine, look at his, look at mine, and said, fine, do as you like, which was like really, like nobody got that.
He trusted you though.
Yeah, and one thing, when we were going down to Seattle to pick up some stuff that I had arranged from the cannery ship down, we went down there and with a trailer and picked up this horrendous load in his old truck. And we're climbing out of Ballard or whatever, the waterfront, and the transmission goes whack out, and it broke the transmission, but it still kind of moved. And it was a horrendous racket, like. And everyone was looking at that, and Tony, oh my gosh, did he get excited? I said, we got to go to, back to his friend who had a shipyard nearby. And I knew where it was, but he was panicking and said, well, take your right. And he said, right, what's it like, what's right? There's labor. There's like, so here me and Tony driving down to downtown Seattle with a huge load, with a failing truck.
Transmission. Oh my goodness.
But he called right down and said, there's no labor. And then we got right back. And,
So all was good? You made it back?
oh yeah, it was, successful return. And he was white. They just, the police went down and got the stuff. So,
little like more excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, but, so.
Okay,
where we are
so,
now,
you're still working at Lovricks.
So we got, yeah.
And so, when did you retire from Lovricks?
I haven't retired.
Do you still?
No, it's under different owners, but
Oh, yeah.
I didn't, per se, I didn't retire because that time Tony had passed away.
Oh.
And his sons started running it.
Right.
And they were not his father.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
the
yeah.
work started to drop, and and all that. And all these friends of mine had drawn solo,
Yeah,
tailgate
yeah.
boat people. So I gave that a whirl, did some pretty good jobs, but it was just way too stressful.
Iffy, yeah. Well, you have another boat story about getting Bubbles' canoe back from the Wooden Boat Museum in Seattle.
Yeah, I found my rough draft, but I didn't bring it.
Okay,
But
well,
the-
I have a couple pictures here that we can, let's see, how can I do this? That's a picture of it upside down. Here's another picture. Okay. So, can you explain what happened there? How you ended up finding out about that?
Yeah, I think it could have been done when I was fishing. No. When Bubble died, I had known the canoe, and Bubble Finley was a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She was loads of laughter to talk to. She knew everybody, and just like Ma Wooten. We used to have great
Oh.
visits, and she'd know everything about. So
Yeah.
so I get two different stories about these old friends. I'm visiting Ma, and she talked about. But it's all, in good.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
But it was like, island characters, that did something, instead of just be here,
Mm-hmm.
So,
I remember meeting Maud at my mother-in-law's, Claudia Ashback's, in like 1970, because she would, for some reason, she came to all the family parties, dinners and stuff. She was an old friend of Claudia's, but she was fun.
when we'd smoke salmon, I'd take her some over, she liked that.
Mhm.
Or chunk that she cooked up and stuff. Her son's a really good friend of mine, too.
The one that's living there now?
Yeah, Bob. That's why I get to park in front of the garage.
Is that, oh, it's you who gets to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ski, he was an
Yeah.
institution too.
Yeah, once I spied this really nice piece of cedar. And I kind of came back when no one was around, and I started loading, going to the beach, and out comes this fella,
Oh,
walking briskly, kind of.
Towards you.
And I knew he was but I didn't know exactly who he was, and he's carrying this big pistol, 6-shooter. And I informed him about the property line. I said, okay, no, he never, it was amicable, and that's why, well, we just like to be,
right.
be good people to know, that are islanders.
Well, and then also, you shared a relationship with him. He doesn't have that many relationships other than his family, so that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Bud Hanson, nice talks. Great.
Yeah, Bud Hanson, that'll be another story. We might have to put that on our list.
Yeah,
We might have
well, I
to-
don't know a whole lot, but it was,
Yeah. So anyway,
Adventures with George Wilson.
oh, you had adventures with him? Did you work-
Oh, he hired me.
Oh.
I worked afternoons.
And we're
I
talking.
was living
We're
on
talking
my
about,
own.
I'm just gonna say, we're talking, George Wilson is the owner of the gravel pit on
Yeah.
Gwyneth Island Road, which is,
Second owner.
who was the first owner before George?
Uh,
Mac Lop.
yeah.
Yeah, Mac Lop, and then Jeff bought it.
Boy, I think his Mac Lop's dump truck is around somewhere.
Well, it probably
With
is, there's probably about
with the
50.
sign. That would be good for.
Yeah.
Title.
I can easily go down and check that out, yeah. It's right behind our house. Okay, so now I've lost track.
That's my brain.
Well, there's so many tangents that we can go off on. I'm trying to make this just,
That's what part of being here, well, my being here, it's so intertwined about that, and that. It's like a pulse. You're just cruising through this organism of cool,
yeah.
up there, and helping this one, helping that one, doing that. I think
A
if
lot
you
of
look in perspective about my resume, the famous Islanders. Like,
Whoa.
what? What? Oh, I get it. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know you worked for George, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was an excellent welder and fabricator.
Oh, okay.
And he never really let me drive any equipment because he was so happy to have someone to fix his stuff. And
Yeah, yeah.
He had a master's in forestry.
Mm. Yeah, I know Floyd Hansler worked with him, too.
Yeah, everybody hated George. We got a lot of...
What was his wife's name? I can see her, but I can't think of her name. I'll work on that.
Yeah.
But Bud will know what her name was. So you worked there for a while. My
Yeah.
goodness, how many hats did you wear?
The one that was appropriate for the weather.
For the time. Okay, so when did you start playing music? When you were young? Because it sounds like you play a lot of instruments.
6th grade.
What was it?
Guitar.
Guitar?
Mm-hmm. Then I took piano lessons for years from the nuns in town at the convent.
Oh,
It was a girls' high school, St. Francis. Anyway,
so we're talking guitar, we're talking piano.
yeah, Sister Mary Antona. It was about the same, about the singing nun.
Is that
Same about years, yeah.
Ah.
And one time, she got the guitar and sat on one of those old desks, like the one with the seat and the...
Oh, yeah, school
Sat
desk.
on the desk, and all the kids there, and gets up to start the guitar and plays a tune. Like, how did she make all that come from me? I was watching her.
Oh.
That was my first memory of significance. Then because my family has a lot of noted musicians in central Minnesota, polka bands.
Oh, is that
Oh, yeah,
polka
yeah,
band?
the
Polish
polka.
polka bands.
Oh yeah. Dave Serenaders and anyhow, so I grew up in an extremely musical family.
I see.
So, rock and roll and all that, just playing off and on with some bands in college,
Mm-hmm.
But always keeping a connection with greenness, and Phil had would have something or whatever, and I knew this Harry and Agnes lived in Motley. That's where Banjo lived in that mobile home.
Lived
It's
where?
Motley, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Which is Motley.
Okay. Got
Good
it.
place.
Okay.
Anyway, I always stopped at this second-hand store. Harry was a fiddler and repaired reed organs, and him and Agnes had this little second-hand store. So it was about the size of this, with the kitchen and the workshop.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd spin a yarn, talk for hours, till I said, oh geez, I got 2.5 more hours of driving to get up back to school. But I would stop and do so. So once I came in, and he said, have I got something for you? Because I sat by the barrel stove. right out of a movie. And it was my first dobro, a dobro.
How do you spell that?
D-O-B-R-O.
Okay.
Slide guitar.
Oh, slide guitar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, slide, yeah. So, he held it, and I made installments. And I'd go, because school was 143 miles away in Moorhead, Fargo. And he was 30 miles away. It was always fun to stop and say. So I took up playing that.
Wow. Well, I've
And
seen
I've
you.
been playing, well, how I met Susie was when I got back. Well, this is this is related to Bud Hansen. Bud Hansen had just passed away,
Mm-hmm.
and I arrived back from Minnesota in my truck. I might have had my dog, the puppy at that time. But so I saw something on the ferry. Said, "Oh, they're having a wake bash down on the beach. All the local blokes, gals and stuff."
Yeah.
So there was a big bonfire down there.
Down where his
Yeah,
house
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Next to the ferry.
And, she said, my good friend was in the band. Well, sort of in the band, but she was kind of friends with Tim McCracken. She has a mulatto daughter that grew beautiful.
Oh, I know who you mean. Well, Keena's mom.
Greer,
Greer.
Debbie Greer.
Yes, Greer.
There's hope.
You're doing fine.
Eat more clams. No, and she was a good friend of mine, and she said, "Hey Mike, you gotta meet this new fiddler on the island." And she was there, and
And this is all at Bud's wake.
yeah,
Bud
and
Hansen's.
and
Okay.
that's where I started stopping by and backing with Phil, so, we're pretty good. I know I'm good at playing for fiddles. That's, we have a really good band.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I think it's most accomplished that I can remember, because Tim McCracken was in that band. He played sax,
Oh.
and he was in a band in Bellingham, and he played at a dance. They used to have dances, and that's before the Woodchoppers Ball started. But one night one dance, I don't know who that was, Susie would know, Barb. It was a really good band. It was a Halloween costume party, and I had got this huge black long coat, like a Russian, but it was really, and so I took a break and had this idea. I went back to Veal's farm, or we weren't there living next door, but I went in there. I knew where all the burdocks were, and I completely covered my hat and the coat with burdock, like solid.
Bird what?
Burdock.
Burdock.
You know
The
the
plant. Yes.
The little round things that stick,
Yeah.
Velcro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Completely covered. Hat. And so proceeded to go dancing, it was a hoot and all that. But after about 3 dances, everybody around there started to go like this. like this one. And they said, everybody looked at me, "Oh geez, it was a burdock." So everybody that was dancing around like had to go take a shower and come back to the dance.
Oops.
Yeah, you do that again. No, one time only.
But you met at Bud Hansen's wake down by the ferry, you and Susie. And what year
Yeah.
do you think that was?
The year that he died.
Oh, good idea, good point. Well, how old is Eugene?
30. Well, he is as old as we've been married.
I know, that's what I meant,
5.
35. So we're talking in the early 90s you met, maybe. It doesn't really matter, it's okay.
No, we met way before the oil spill.
Because you came in the 70s, before the
Yeah.
oil spill, so you met in the
early
80s. In the
early
80s,
Yeah.
yeah, because you got here in 77.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then, you met her, and then you showed up at a Halloween party and made everybody itch.
Yeah, and uh, she still has it, needs more work, but this beautiful little 14-foot skiff called Spittoon.
Oh,
that
fun.
Comes from Bremerton, and it needed some work. And one time when I stopped by my afternoon visit, which was starting to be a little bit more on a regular basis, I repaired the transom, but I did it like a sculptor and inlaid this up, and I think I made an impression.
On Susie.
Yeah, but you could double check.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Sure.
she should be sounding board on this now. 'Cause
Yeah.
now we're getting involved, sort of.
Yeah, yeah.
So, one time she took a trip with me to Minnesota to visit my folks, and come back, whatever. But,
You took her home to introduce her
when,
to your
when,
parents.
when I stopped by Harry, yeah, stop it. I'm gonna stop it. See Harry and Agnes. So we went there. I think they played fiddle, and she played fiddle with him because she really liked one fiddle I had bought from because I was playing some fiddle a little bit. But since my hands are way too big, well, they're not too big, but the shipwright's a lot of very difficult. I mean, very physical. But anyway.
Okay, so then, just to go back to the band thing, you had the Dog Island Boys with Jim Reed, Eddie, and you guys toured.
Yeah, it turned into the toured with, it was the Turkey Point.
And then it became the
string
Turkey
band.
Point because you wanted to
Then
have,
we toured, yeah,
Yep.
because it was just us three.
yeah, it's a trio. And then you came back, and so then how did your group grow? Or what was it?
No, it had just gone where, at a woodchopper's ball, Barb met her husband.
Mike?
Yeah, Mike McGinnis there. That's what's cool about the dance. Like people have met, fall in love, people got married.
Well,
People,
So Mike, just another
yeah,
thing, just
yeah.
like that, is that Matt always thought the woodchopper's ball was for his birthday.
Oh,
Because and I remember
love that.
telling him that, oh no, Matt, this, because he just had it,
Yeah.
I mean, for 3 years in a row, he thought it was his birthday, and I went, no, Matt, it's not, and you could just see him, oh.
Well, we would have announced it every time he shows up. It's his birthday, whatever date it is,
Exactly. So it meant a lot to
Yes.
even the little kids.
Okay, get him to go to the next ball.
Pardon?
Get Matt to go to the next
Oh,
ball.
okay, yes.
And then you give me the signal.
Okay.
And then we'll say happy
Okay.
birthday to him.
Yeah. Yeah. So but the woodchopper's ball was amazing for everyone. I mean, it had a heart for everyone. I mean, it was just like the people who donated or, danced or sang or performed or served food. It was just such a community spirited love fest.
Yeah, so the first one, well, it was a precursor to that. Um, when we got married, it was a Polish wedding, 3 days. Yeah, that's a good one. So the people we had, somehow I knew this band, a string band from the Elephants of Style from Port Townsend, I believe. But to get Susie in here, because now we're.
She went over to Barb's.
Oh,
She
yeah.
took Barb home.
Oh yeah. And everybody had such a good time. That was a buzz for a while, and because they've never experienced that level of party.
And joy.
Yeah. The last day we had a hamburger cook at North Beach in across from Ron Flint. What's her name's house?
Oh, I know.
The green and white one, next to Martisage.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Is it Benji's Armstrongs? Was it
No.
Armstrongs?
You used to be able to rent it. Well, maybe I just
Well, anyway.
commandeered it. But McCormick's.
Whose?
McCormick's house.
McCormick?
Yeah, who lived on North Beach.
Okay. All right.
Hey, we were playing some tunes, and but by then banjo was part of the whole family. I remember. And he told my dad, he said, "Boy, you guys really know how to party." Yeah, because my dad was absolutely famous with his hamburger, and my mom was her Polish coffee cake. But here we go. So I had given Susie a surprise gift for our wedding gift. It was a year, 3 years old, a draft horse,
Oh.
black Persian. His name was Ocho.
Oh, I remember.
So, I had bought him. We were, living together at that point, and we were living at the Red House.
Oh.
Yeah. But I had bought it up in Linden or Ferndale, and the people sent them payments. It was all paid for. It was our wedding. It was after the wedding, right after that. So I coordinated. He brought the horse down when Susie was at work. She was a tree surveyor for the Forest Service. So when she went to work, they came down, came over in the ferry, we went there, and I watched Ocho and hid him in the barn. I don't know if it was one day, but it had a propitious moment. I had a ball of seine twine, and I put it right next, I had him in the barn, and so I put a string, and I just unwound the string all the way to her president in the house. I said, "Follow this string."
That's
So we
great.
we lived with a horse and 2 dogs, and I was teaching him how to tow to pull.
Pull a wagon.
Uh-huh. And so we had a job when we were clearing the land for the playground.
All right.
They were paying for it. The community center was, making payments, and they had about $1,000 in the kitty at the meeting. Community center, they wondering what to do. And I'm sitting there, and it was bing. I stood up and said, "Hey, I have an idea. We have all this wood, and we had such a good time with this band. What if we have a band and have admission tickets, get raffle prizes, and raise money for it?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I got the approval, so we got the band, and the rest is
History.
one after another.
Yeah. How many woodchoppers balls was there?
Isn't it, we're gonna do number 35? Yeah, I think so.
Let me see, I think we have some of these
We
posters.
skipped a few years. Well, it wasn't every year. Sometimes it was in
Oh, we had
every
34. I have 34.
14 months, or whenever I found the appropriate band and the time was right for it. So it's open season from October to March.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
them. A lot of them were November. I mean, there was.
Yeah, Thanksgiving is a good
Yeah.
settling on, but that was in the day when.
This is a picture of you guys chopping wood for
Yeah.
the raffle. We'll have this in our archives. I just want to kind of remind everybody that we have
So the
pictures.
tradition was to raffle off ricks of wood, which is a third of a cord.
Yeah.
So it would vary how many would do that. When people were at odds with when Anderson was president, so we were. No one liked it. I had too many good ideas or whatever. You know how it goes that they just. I said, the woodshop, he didn't want to do a woodchopper's ball. And I said, how are we going to get the money? Because this is, the cost. I said, this is going to cost this much. And it was like, no. And I insisted that, win, it'll work, we'll make it. And he said, if you guys can make $600 in a dance like that, I'll eat my hat. But whoa, okay. So all the folks get to work. One of the keys in is stacking bricks, one after another. So there's a big fence up, and
It was
people
so
do
cool.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
However, so we went to work, and I don't know which one was that. When was president?
Of the
When we
community
got
club.
to work, we had the dance, and we made like $614, something like that. Susie would, you might know. And at the next meeting, I presented, there you go. So the next, either was that meeting or the next one of the board members brought a cake in the shape of a hat so he could eat his hat.
Oh, that's great.
Uh-huh.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Lots of small little meaningful stories,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know.
it's just a day in the life of Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you.
It's going to be
It's
interesting.
after I'm not here, but in the whole spectrum of stuff happening that's cool and whatever, all the years I've been here, I think I had most of the time was the instigator or the facilitator.
You were involved.
Well, it's like digging 100 yards by hand of dirt up from underneath the hall.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, as the second story, well, as the wood choppers' ball gained in popularity, it got around with all the musicians, okay? So I think it was that dance.
This
With
spoonshine? I remember that one.
Okay, and it was customary for me at the height of the dance, people say, "Oh, wow, nice bouncy floor," and I heard, "Yeah, I know," but at that point in the dance, I knew it was a good dance. So at a particularly, I'd go around and I'd open the little door and crawl. There was a space was about this big. It was and we'd crawl up to the middle of the floor, and a nice tune would start, and then the floor would start bouncing, about yay much. And I'm right underneath it, in the center, watching it go up and down on this rock. That's what it's on. Big bowl, not a small bowl, but medium boulder. So and there were shakes between the cedar stump, the cedar round, nice cedar,
Yeah.
shake bowl quality, and the beam. Those are little, you can see it. So I just would take the shim and get in tune when it would go up and I put it in, the tap, that's where the next one, till it was all done, and it just got really nice. Still bounced, but it wasn't dangerous, though.
That's great. That's pretty innovative.
So I brought that up at a meeting about, because my dad dug out our basement and used the elevator, a dirt elevator.
Oh.
So it left a huge impression on me as a little kid, because I wanted to shovel in there, and these big old Polacks would be tired, for whatever. And I'd get in between them, and they'd, "Hey kid, you're in my road." And I'd go, "Hey kid."
But you wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
Well, you fixed it.
So I proposed that we excavate underneath the hall, because and no other than Digger Tom and I were probably the best shovelists on the island at that time. We could move dirt because he was Digger Tom and I was his buddy Mike. So him and I got the okay, and I got a dirt elevator. Punched a hole through the, and started away. So, and we used Veal's dump truck. So we just go in after work, we'd work till we couldn't shovel no more, and then do it again and again, and then we got farther in, because it was going so well, because it was really good dirt. But at the same time, there was no driveway.
Oh.
The big loop.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, this is really good fill, so we started building the road. We'd fill it up on severe when it come out, finally, at the end of it, when we were in the farthest reaches before we did it all ourselves. There were people who helped move rocks and stuff. It was great because I envisioned, in addition to adding on to the hall on the east side,
Inside.
with a porch wing on the north side, walkway that goes all the way around to the level. And that you could even have a porch that would go all the way, a little deck that would go all the way around the outside. But it was big enough that you could either rent the whole hall, or you have two simultaneous with a barrier. So we got to stop short of my goal, but see, then the bottom floor, the ground floor, which is underneath the hall, because that's deemed the first floor. Did you know that? Yeah, in the whole
Yeah.
smear of the description. So on the ground floor, you could house like a museum, or and the library would be increased by 2/3,
Which they want.
and the hall would increase by at least 1/3, and the bottom, then you'd have all that square footage underneath. Holy mackerel! Then if you have to move the trees, right? There's about 7 very mature trees
Big.
that are starting to show signs of
Deterioration.
yeah. So you just surgically take those out, and like the pavilion or the stage, you use these timbers as a part of the structure. What kind of
Yeah, that's
magic is that?
synchronicity.
Yeah,
Synchronicity.
everything is really. So.
Well, that's
So
quite a
we're
vision.
about 100 yards, and we did the whole with 3 shovels.
Oh my goodness.
We,
Did you gold
we
plate?
did not use any equipment except the conveyors.
Yeah.
So at one point, this was stuck way in, so I had it arranged so we'd shovel this way, and the dirt would go up, and then drop on another one, and then go up out the door, out this underneath the hall, and then up on the one that goes into the truck.
Truck. Oh my goodness.
It was cool. Boy, it could remove a lot of dirt.
Yeah, you could have got into dirt. I mean, that could have been your business. Yeah.
No, it was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Because even though it did not reach its culmination, it's sitting right
I
there
was gonna
for
say.
people to realize how easy it would be. But once again, probably, oh no, here comes Mike with another idea.
Well, you know what? Sometimes things just need time to come to
Yeah, you
fruition.
put the, like my
And then-
father said, you put the idea and make it, what would you think? And he said, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
So they thought of it. So they're kind of part of the
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah. Sometimes things just take time. You know, and you have to have somebody that's willing to push it too. Yeah.
But be easy. You know why? Because all the work could be done and built completely, except for the wall that separates the two. It could be all done. And you could have a breakout. Break in, take the walls out, and just finish it up, and it's done.
Yeah.
There. So that's my latest.
That's your latest thought.
But Bob Porter left a legacy of doing it. But out by his wood pile is a model of a house that he was building, or he built. But it's all of that architectural stuff. You know, that white,
That board.
board
I know
that- that you can
I know the
cut.
kind of board you mean.
And-
Yeah.
so all I have to do is make a scale model of it,
Oh.
and then with the top say, here's the stuff, open it to, here's all the people. And then see here, then you just take the other pieces and then you just add on to here and here.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah. Good
the
idea.
engineer who did the engineering is in who's who in the world of notable people. He was the engineer and friend in coach, I met him. He was an Asian party. This one. Anyway, I took him and I explained, because after that, the design of the pavilion and taking it to making it work with the design, with the codes and the material we had, you know, besides looking good. And I took him down here and I explained exactly what I told you, and he said, easy. I mean, it's simple, and he agreed that it was built without even interrupting the operation.
How
of the
it
hall.
works, yeah.
He gave me a, okay.
On,
But,
on
anyway.
hold, on hold for now. On
Oh,
hold-
yeah,
On
yeah.
hold for
Well,
now.
no, there's glimmers that
Is there?
I keep.
Okay, we'll keep it up. So, can you tell me, we don't really have very much information about, Eddie Banjo McClosh.
Yeah,
When I lived on the,
McClosh,
pardon?
McClosh,
Yes.
not McClosh.
No, I knew McClosh. I knew,
McClosh, oh.
yeah, I know how to spell it.
He was insistent.
But I remember when he came to the island, Bud and I were here in 1970. And so I remember when he came and moved in with Duke. I remember the story, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it was before I was here.
Yeah, so can you fill in any other information regarding him? He came from Seattle, where he lived with his mom and his brother.
Yeah, how he got here.
I-
One could really fill you in would be Jeff Winston.
Jeff Winston?
Yeah, he was there
Yeah,
most of the time.
yeah.
And involved like any musician, artist, they were always trying to know what's happening. Maybe not so much on the mountain, but what's going on, you know. Who's behind that? Those people or about doing something. But he was relatively, he didn't like to perform with crowds.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like that, but it was a feat to get him to do that. But, you know, when we did that at the Save the Strategy, there's a picture of us performing when there were, you know, no nuclear plant.
Yeah.
In the fundraiser, we got to perform twice in the fundraiser.
Who is performing? Who was it?
Banjo, Dan McCracken. I think Jim Reed was still around. I don't know whether, I'd have to double check who was playing guitar.
That's fine.
I was playing dobro, and Deb Greer was kind of a backup singer
Oh,
on some songs.
oh. What year was that?
You know, it'd be the year of the Magic Strategy. So that was happening, that was probably 78, 79, 80.
So soon after you came.
Yeah, yeah. I still have Pat Brody's truck, his old Dot, 32 Dodge or whatever. Magic, Strategy Valley, yes, nuclear, no. That vintage.
Oh my.
Bumper sticker.
Yeah. And then we had the bumper sticker, wrap your sushi and cabbage.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we had that. So your bands, Susie was starting to write down a list of all the bands that were on the island.
Jefferson, Matt McCracken, Ron Flint, Jim Reed, Jim Arsenio. Reed, you'd have to double check him if he
That's
appeared
okay.
soon after that.
We
And one too many, that's Mike McGinnis.
that's okay.
There was a different band, and then
Yeah, we
Haulouts and the Clark Point but outside of other bands, maybe some classical duos or
Oh,
something.
oh, right,
But,
yeah.
but no, no out and abouts.
Yeah, but you guys play every Thursday
Hmm.
is it 5:30?
Yeah, we gather at 5:30 and usually hop in by 6.
Okay, okay.
That's,
So that's pretty remarkable that you do that. Do you have any posters to kind of announcing that? Or is that just word of mouth?
oh, it's in Chimes, that magazine from Show Chimes from Cordes.
Oh, I know what you mean,
But
in Chimes.
the only time I do a poster is either for a dance or
Yeah.
a performance
Yeah.
in town. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Okay, so, you have so many memorable stories that we might have to do this again,
Oh,
and we're not
we
done.
would say you just probably got about 0.5%.
I know it, I know it, I
I'm
know
not
it.
bragging or nothing, but gee whiz, when they get to talking about, they ask me a question about
And it
that.
brings things up,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thinking about memorable people that you met on the island, what are some, that maybe, so, like you have Phil, he brought you here, right? And then banjo, and then you were really good friends with Mike McGinnis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
yes.
else? Who else?
It was just, it varies from years of spaces, and then they become involved, and so, you have to adjust your visitation or your
Yeah.
circle of.
It changes.
It's like, what's happening?
Yeah, it
It
changes.
doesn't happen like that much anymore, about people cruising around, or knowing where the next, because, where the next bluegrass session would be, because it was happening not almost every night, but pretty close, somewhere on Dreamus.
Did
There
you?
was the banjo and the buddy.
Yeah. Did you ever go to the parties at Duke Torgeson's?
No,
That was before your time. Those are some pretty wild parties at Duke's.
yeah, I heard a few.
Yeah, and he would come, if you didn't come to his, if we didn't show up to one of his parties, he would come to our house the next day and say, "Where were you?"
Yeah, it was.
I mean, he was pretty wild.
Well, that was in the period of time where you knew everybody on the ferry line.
Yeah, yeah, it was sweet though. I mean, but everybody played the jug. I mean, like some
Yeah.
people brought their instruments, but people were playing
Yeah, Buddy
me.
Casper, he was good on the jug.
I don't remember him.
He lived up at the Everett place.
What was his name?
Buddy Casper.
No, but it was the time Tom Davis was here,
Yep.
Jeff was here, actually who would sometimes come, well, Ron Flint would come, but they were the young kids and they'd just sit on the couch and watch the older, the people that were 4 years older than them, the older generation.
Yeah, it was quite a social happening that day.
It was.
So every night it'd be different. It was like the energy with the 720 string band. We've been how many years now? But every performance is unique.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. You think it'd be the same, but boy, no, not at all.
Yeah, so
It's
we're
like
gonna
jazz.
we're gonna pardon?
It's like jazz.
Oh, well, we're gonna record you on Thursday
Oh,
at
good.
5:30. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say let us get a rolling.
Yeah.
It's about
I'll
6.
let you give me the
Yeah.
word when I can start.
Yeah, closing on 6:30. It's really warmed up
Okay.
for sure, or quarter after. So.
Yeah, yeah. So you worked with George, let's see, and you didn't know Bud Hanson.
Well, I knew him. Yeah, I knew. We be, I would visit him once. I knew of him, and I used to drive by him, and I didn't really. I looked past his, rastiness or whatever. I thought he was a really, very, very good man, and he made all these things, devices and tools and stuff, out of the most honest things, and that we would never think would do it. And there they were, when he died, they had to clear out his estate. So that's when I started working with Susie about that,
Yeah.
with that. And the thing was, there was no junk. It was all
Purposeful?
like being on a boat,
Yeah, well, we don't have very much information about Bud at all, Bud Hanson.
It'd be down,
Dan McCracken?
yeah.
I'll write that down.
Oh, yeah, Bill Everett, he's a really good friend of mine. I mean,
I wonder, yeah, I interviewed him
yeah.
a couple weeks ago, yeah. Okay, so Dan McCracken might know about Bud Hanson. Okay, well, my Bud might know something about
Yeah,
it too.
Jeff too.
I wonder if anybody has pictures of his place.
Yeah. Check early copies of the Evening Star. In a big storm, winter storm, that's when again,
Oh.
that was in 70, that's when still there was, like a dozen young shipwrights that ate boats for a living, sort of. And in a storm, he was sleeping in his Wanigan,
Yes.
which is down at the ferry dock.
Right.
That was his last one.
Right, right.
And
Yeah,
it floated away. He was went by Cook's Cove or something. They went all the way around the corner. So they towed him back and put him on there. And anyway,
Good.
average.
Yeah, I don't know, we need to get more information, so thank you for those hints. Is there anybody else you want to speak about? Anybody that was memorable to you? And you don't have to do it today, because we can do this another time.
Well, it's Dan McCracken has been
Your buddy for a long time, yeah. So this is kind of a sort of a question, like, what do you, kind of a generic question, but what's your favorite thing about Gwimis? Or one of your favorite things?
you're on an island, but you really don't think as if you are an island, but this is your island where you know how everything works. The tide, the ferry, the currents, the wind, where the trees are, where the deer are. I think it's just being part of it all, not just one little
Street,
I'm
it's
just-
not like one
I'm-
little street, it's not.
Oh yeah, well but and are part of it, but not overly like oh yeah, here it comes again, No, it's just you just leave it sort of like on I would say island time, which is similar to Indian time, and like it's very tidal. It just happens when it happens.
Organic.
Yeah. That's what I like about it. It's, if you see a piece of wood you really like, you can go sneak it on. It's kind of illegal now, but sometimes you must save this piece of cedar.
And I know that, I mean, this is what Bud will do. If he finds like a piece of cedar or something that he thinks somebody would like, he'll pick it up and take it to them. I mean, there's that
Yeah.
sense of
Oh, yeah.
community, you know, that
Yeah,
this would be perfect for so-and-so, or this, yeah.
Yeah, he's a true island bloke, fellow. It's, can't seek no further, you know, if you want an example. In their own way, you know, it's not, you're in everybody's business. Just, you gotta know what needs help or who needs something. And now I have to be very creative and collective. So, you know, we didn't throw anything that was good, you know, machinery-wise and stuff a lot when I was a kid. You know, not to my scale, but Dad was very inventive. You know, decorated by MacArthur.
Oh,
As
really?
an engineer, yeah.
Huh. Wow. You've got some history there.
Well, you know, my events as a firefighter, holy shit. That's, there are some little significant stories.
About being a firefighter on Gwimas?
Oh, yeah. Oh, much so.
Can you share one?
Yeah, well, let's see, okay. It was a year where there was a lot of fires, a lot of wildfires. And then there was fire on the mountain, I think. And so we on that big fire, that's when they called on in all the peeps. The a '69 Chevy, 4-wheel drive, 3/4 ton with 200 gallons of water was our brush vehicle. So where I live, by Eden's section, and being a fisherman, when it goes off, even before the plectron,
Yeah, the plectron.
but I'm up and out the door, you know, in case the bugs that go through the firefighters, that mine's severe, and that I would be all my gear on, sitting in the first truck that was appropriate, sort of idly waiting for somebody to show up, you know, and where we go. But so Larry, so we had a report of fire up on Little Mountain. There's some campers that I think got away from or whatever. So Larry and I went up to the scene, up to the top there, and then we grabbed some shovels and go. We did not have time to do anything with a pump or a hose. It was just, at that point in time, it was Larry Pike and I.
Larry Pike.
Uh-huh. He had just finished wildfire training too.
Oh, okay.
But the fire was leaping, it was going up, and we were on the top of Little Mountain, and then all the people and houses started behind us. So and the way it was going, it was just sort of, and in theory, once it got to the top, it'd go down, and then it'd really take off. because you're going to get into more material. So here, so it's leaping from bush to bush, and we're engaging it, and Larry got excited, or worried, like, what could you say, scared?
Mhm.
Or very, very worried about escaping or whatever, what we're going to do. But with the technique of, like a samurai, I would take my shovel and go, here comes a leaping flame. And I just, in front of it, I go whack, whack, knock it off, stuff it fall down, pat it out, whack, whack, pop out. I showed Larry, we can beat this thing. And we just kept doing it till we stopped it.
Wow.
Then,
Just the two of
then
you.
the whole buddy came.
And everybody came
Yeah.
after it was after it was done. I didn't know you were on the fire department.
Yeah, 20 years,
Oh wow.
I think. But there again was like, I don't know, maybe it's like put me in coach. So,
Oh.
when I played football, and it was all conference and all that, I wanted to be right in the thick of it. And they put me in the thick. I had to play the whole game, every unit. It was a whole lot of fun. But that's something I was learning from my father. He was a Ford Air Base. They were just making the airport in New Guinea. The tar truck, the paver, ignites on fire. And it's burning and it's going to blow. And if that would have blown, it would have shut the whole, it would have been very serious.
Yeah.
Because they were waiting for it. And everybody split, except Dad, he just grabbed the wheel, fire extinguisher, ran right to it, put it up. Said, got the Bronze Star for that one,
Oh.
presented by MacArthur. He got to give MacArthur a tour of the airfield.
Wow. Kind of.
But he said, when stuff happens, when it goes down,
Yeah.
there's three kinds of people. Some look and run away. Others freeze, don't know what to do. And the others go right to the problem.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I generally do that automatically.
That's what you do. No, I get it.
Like that going down the well. Holy mackerel. I wasn't even on the fire department.
Yes, we have it's like from 1986 where some kids fell down a well,
One kid, yeah.
60-foot fall.
It was
And,
more like, it was more than that.
okay, well,
but-
it was more than 60 feet.
Well.
Well, you were the one that went down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that just speaks to what you're saying, you know.
Well, yeah, it was primitive, so we had the cannibal bath, which is an old clawfoot table with a fire pit underneath it. And I got cleaned up, and I was just wearing pants and a t-shirt and tennis shoes. And I saw these fire trucks going by up behind us.
Uh-huh.
And I was feeding Eugene on the front porch, and I saw these things going by. I said, here, you take them, I'm going to see what's going on. So just like it was, I hoofed it up there, and there was a out of control little fire, and there was a scared kid So I put it out. And I thought, oh, I thought that's what it was. It's, no, my friend fell down the well. And the well is very deep, good, you know, very hand up. It was, we measured, me and Murphy. It was pretty, you could ask him. It was, anyway, it was down there.
It was down there.
So I walk up, and here is Carl Meinziger. He was the first responder at that time. Leaning over the hole of the well and said, "Put it around your waist." Down. And the screams were coming up. I can't. Because I heard that tone of voice since I was just engaged with natural childbirth, just recently. I walked up and said, somebody's got to go down there right now, right now. So all they had was a piece of manila, you know, line, manila straight line. It's really, I mean.
I know what you mean, yeah.
On the truck, and old Meinziger knew how he was good with knots, you know, because they're maritime.
Uh-huh.
He made me a man harness and lowered me down. So I get down with a flashlight. I get down, dark, down there, and here's about knee-deep water. And there's on the way down there's where the water was coming down into the bottom of the well. But here was this guy stuck. So I got right next to him as a young mulatto kid. And the pipe is here, so I'm braced against here, and it's sort of against the pipe. And I fish him out of the water and work him onto my knee,
Oh my goodness.
and he's just totally out of sorts. So I just helped my wife through childbirth. So it was fresh in my mind. So I got him, got his attention, and by gum, in a minute or two, it was fun. I mean, this could be.
Right.
So the Michigan, you know, the written fire departments are from town. So I hear it coming up, I'm not looking up. And I think the line comes down, and then dirt, and rocks. So I put cover
Yeah.
over him, and here it comes. Here's the thing. It's goofy. It was actually, well, it's another part of the story. I rappelled down the side of the wall. Instead of being lowered, he knocked everything
Oh.
down. Anyway, so he was about as flustered as the kid was. And he had this harness, and he's sitting across from me, and he's holding a flashlight and trying to figure out how it works. You know, it's all fumbled up, and the kid's going, you know, trying to get him out of here. And he's like, wait, here, I'll fish him over here, and you tie him to you at the line.
Okay.
So he did this, okay, and then up they went. So I sat there
That-
for quite a long time because they were attending to him. So I finally got hoisted up a little, and about 30 feet down, when I was going by there, was this hole in the earth. It was like this square. And you could not see the end of it, and there was this rivulet of this beautiful water going down. So I got up there, shook his hand, and proceeded, because I was totally a wreck.
Right.
Well, no, not a wreck, but it was.
It was
you know, it was
emotional.
kinda cold.
Yeah, emotional and physical. Yeah.
But I had only been gone not a whole lot of time, maybe 10 minutes, maybe, for all that to occur. So I walked back down the road, and I come into the, back up to the porch, and she said, "What happened to you?" I said,
Well,
well, walking up the road one day. So anyway,
oh,
that's not the what happened to you story. That's not the first one.
that's not the first one?
No. Oh, okay, we have the Percherons next door and Macaroni, my daughter's pony.
Mhm.
She's a, so over across the road from us is the old farmstead, and there's a shallow well.
This
Yeah.
is, this is,
No, it's across from our house.
oh, where you are now?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Sully's. And I went out. Oh, did it start? Oh, I went out to feed the horses, or something out to the horses. And there was Eli and Ocho staring at, not at me, something. And I heard this commotion, and I just see the tip of the nose, John, of the horse, coming out of the well. So I go, there's Macaroni down in this well. So
Yeah.
it's deep enough that I'd say 8 feet, something like that, 10 feet. And here's the horse, and here's me, we're down in the well. No, we're both down in the well. And I calm the horse down, right? And we were kind of looking at each other
Like, what
are we
now?
going to do now? Okay. So Luke, you remember Luke, the golden retriever?
No.
Anyway, Luke was with me, and was at the end of the well doing. Luke, go get Sue, because I had been yelling, and here in the middle of the morning on Gwost Island, where are you gonna find somebody stuck in a wall with a pony?
With the horse.
In the mid-morning, it would have been.
My gosh.
How can you hear? So Luke was going, go get Sue, go get Sue, and he
name was-
disappeared. He disappeared, and Susie said he showed up all in the kitchen. He was all agitated, and she didn't know what he was doing. And so she sort of like, oh, must be wanting to play or something. Then apparently he came down, went back, and sat at the entrance to the driveway.
Yeah.
Just so here me and Macaroni. Okay, we're gonna bust out of here. So I worked the big rock loose and started beating against the laid wall and started to crumble more. And the horse looks at that and yeah, keep going. And so I finally cast these down, so I finally got this little ramp.
Inclined, yeah.
So I said, okay, girl, this is it. And she got down and jumped, and then her back foot went on my knee, and like just in the circus, boing, up she pops.
Wow.
And then I skinny out, and she just started, kind of shook it out. I'll come down next to her two big buddies, and they're going, where you been? Kind of like did it. So I go walk back at home, and I come in the kitchen, and Susie said, where have you been? And I was just gone, like another one of those. I just stepped out for a moment.
Whoa. You guys have near misses, Betty.
You know, but they were all successful.
Yeah,
All
you're
the
here.
fires,
Yeah.
all those moments of breaking through the door and the couch. You got a hose, you bust the door open, and the couch, it's a couch. In the next seconds, it's a inferno,
Oh.
completely in flames. So you're like, ah, attack! Put the fire out. It's one of those moments of,
This could go badly.
it happened so fast, and it was like firefighting training, and combination of that and the personnel.
Yeah, yeah.
Carl was in the back.
Where was that?
Down at those houses down by the ferry dock. Carl was in the back. He told me to go attack the front. You.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of stories. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about writing a book?
Yeah. But not of the stories, but you could probably do that. And it's
know what-
really nice when you kind of bring those up, and it clicks on to something that you haven't thought of
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
But the boy wanted me to write a book called Old Way, New Way, The Modern Shipwright.
Yeah, I have a picture here. Maybe you can explain this one to me, Mike, talking about that.
Oh,
Can I just want to,
Yeah,
I want
sure.
to show this so that, yeah, there. That's not a very good picture, but there's Mike right there. There we go. Okay.
I have a good friend of mine I've known for a long time, Jay Smith.
Oh,
Jay
yeah.
Smith. He's a Nordic boat builder. And we worked together, and I helped him build his first shop when he moved here from Pennsylvania, and helped him out with, any projects. He was, he would call me up,
Yeah.
and I'd leave the shipyard and drive out to Thompson Road, and we'd do something, I'd fix, fare something, and then catch the 6 or 8, but 8:30 then still, no. Anyway,
Yeah.
he got the commission to build a Viking ship patterned after the ones in one of the number 3 in in Norway or Sweden where they rescued it.
Yes.
Hull number 3, I think. He has almost a modern replica, modern version of that boat, all built in the traditional way with wood, with trowels and iron rivets. But it also had to have required was twin electric motors, because the owners wanted to charter it, and if the wind's not blowing, all the oars, with the 16 oars, don't blow.
Yeah.
So Jay called me, so I figured it out. How to mount 2 big engines and propellers in the stern of a Viking ship. And it works really well.
Oh, I remember when it set sail, that was on the paper and everything, yeah.
Yeah, this summer when he's sailing, I want to I can do that, is get a greenless cruise.
Ooh.
You can hold a lot of people, 30, at least 20 for sure.
Where is the boat now?
It's just waking up. It's in winter storage at Skyline.
Oh, wow.
But
It needs
I
to,
think he's set in the Mai, which is the 17th set in the Mai, the Norwegian holiday. A super bidding ballard, and he wants to be there.
he wants to take it down
So
there.
once it was launched, we helped the owner out a lot, figuring out how to sail it.
Yeah.
And Daniel was really keen. myself, so it's kind of like first people that called.
Well, it's quite a
Yeah, I have
boat.
one boat he built.
Yeah, and there's some pictures here of you making your bowls.
Yeah,
About those. Iron Mike Gwost's wood and ceramics works on display at the depot. Gwima's sculpture expresses self in many medium.
it's true, it's true.
It is. It is. Yeah, yeah. You've been involved in a lot of, Gwima's was was happy to have you.
That's what Phil said, I think, day one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you really don't know what it is till you is. Like, it's,
When you're in the middle of it.
yeah, it isn't like you set out to do that, it's just how it works. Naturally.
I know. Yeah, well, we're lucky. Well, is there for this session, is there anything else you'd like to share?
I'd have to scan my brain.
Okay.
There's a,
Well,
it's
what-
just a
what-
litany. Sometimes a thing or a deed or whatever, or an event will trip,
Yes, yeah. Well, what I would like you to do is maybe just jot those things, have a little pad that you just like, when it comes to you, you write it down. That could help for your book and for our next recording. Yeah, but that's, I have to do that too, I like, what was I thinking,
Yeah, I remember the first time we met, it was in Kit's kitchen.
it was in Kit's kitchen?
You and Janice Beal.
Oh,
And Kit, and I came to visit, or you guys were there. It was really nice, and I said, wow, who are these two gals? Like, wow. So anyway.
Oh, that's
still
nice.
sitting.
yeah, we all go back, that's what I kind of like, we all go back a long time, knowing each other in different sort of avenues.
Yeah, it's that smile of perspective.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And like you were saying, sometimes the ships meet and sometimes they pass and they meet at another angle or, yeah.
Yeah, the reaction, this did that, and then that did that, and that did that. Then that one did, because you were doing this for this, and then they both happen at the same time. Like, that's cool,
Yeah.
no matter what, I guess.
Yeah, no matter what. No.
Multimedia, it said, and no, yeah, that's what he said in Phil's book about him. I'm the only person that's mentioned in it.
Oh, is that right? The
Yeah, I got a paragraph in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, fortunate to have Mike Gwost as a master of many media who could interpret his whatever, something like that.
Yeah, but I think you're kind of the go-to guy if somebody doesn't know what to do or they need
Well, I might
something.
have it stashed.
Yeah, but also,
somewhere.
and you have a creative mind, so you can kind of like, oh, this would work for this. So I
Well,
think
yeah,
you have a
it's like-
reputation.
that's why I was a good firefighter.
You could think out of the box how to solve a problem.
Oh, yeah, mm-hmm.
Some
And
people,
fix it.
some people just go this way.
No, not I, said the cat.
All right. Well, Mike, thank you. This has been
Yeah.
fabulous.
Well, I
And
hope you could understand. It's a little hard to speak correctly since I'm still recovering.
yeah. Tell me. No, this is you were fine.
No.
Tell me what your accident was. It an accident that you had?
Well, then, okay, working under a boat all the time, and it's very, very physical.
And you get
Well, yeah, but then then playing hockey. It was the last few seconds of a hockey game. I get a breakaway, I steal a bunch of breakaway, I come up on the goalie, I let fly a quick wrist shot, he blocks it, it bounces directly out, back at me. So I put on the binders, give it another little wrist shot, and it goes bang in. But then, as soon as I saw it go in, bam, I saw stars. This great big Galoof was a defenseman, didn't know I could stop so quick, or he couldn't stop because he's kind of big, and he hit me full fart on the side of the neck. I never knew it till they, surgery that all these years, one of my vertebrae was cracked all the way around.
Oh.
That's why my neck kept going down and down. And eventually I was going to asphyxiate. Best guy in the world I got connected to, and he put me to his buddy who's the best in the world at what he does. And they said I'm a very, very rare occurrence with that operation, not a side effect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad they were successful. And so's a few other people.
Yeah, it's not easy climbing back, Where's my personal trainer?
Well, especially when it's so cold and wet,
I'm outside all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for sleeping.
Yeah, because that heat, the sun on your neck would be so nice.
No, I just like to be outside.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to shut this down, but thank you, Mike, and I want to get together with you
Sure.
again.
Anytime I like when you make those questions, it's sort of like just John somewhere talking to somebody about this and that, and then on come the stories. Maybe because I had uncles like that, uncles and aunts like that would start talking about a question and give you a whole bunch of stories that are like guidelines or examples of really cool stuff. And I used to listen to that all the time. Where everybody was all playing, I was sitting.
You were sitting with the old
Serving, joined us yet. Michael, cook me some radishes. Then I'd go out to get some fresh carrots or fresh beer bottles.
Oh, sure.
But my inspiration, my slide guitar was, my brother had an old arch top with about, this time it had 4 strings. And in the humidity of the Minnesota, the neck was, and the clearance was about this far. It was impossible to play it. So I have a hay fever in the middle of the summer. I was either in the basement or somewhere where it was pollen-free. So I'd start playing this, turn it to a chord, and I had a family gathering, everybody's at our house, and I'm running radishes and all that. And I'm sitting down the steps in the garage and playing this. And my Uncle Frank, he's a farmer, but Dad's brother, but he's a big guy, huge hands, but he was also a musician. He could play. And he looked at me and said, "Give me that, kid." I got that, and he sat down, grabbed a shot glass, and proceeded to play. And I was like, how did he do that? So I was hooked.
Yeah.
Innovative.
Innovative.
I played with some pretty good bands. Opened for Wanda Jackson once, who's was Elvis Presley's first wife. She's a country western star now.
Oh.
Anyway, but I don't get to play much with the 720 string band because I make it really fly because I'm the guitar player. press start. No, it's, you know that, if you have a good motor, you know, they have start, run, stop. So, you know, it's like, you start the starter motor, then you press the button, run, stop, till you turn it off. It's a lot of. Eugene figured out how many strums I have, like at a Brown Lantern performance.
Oh,
I don't know, it's 50,000 or something, it's some business. Really, well, here's the numbers.
that's wild, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Well,
All right, well,
hope I have
thank
fresh
you.
stories
Yes,
on our next visit.
I would love that. I would love that. Thank you.
Don't, no, as they say in Canada, no do to boot it.